Okay, so welcome everyone, and thank you for joining in on this wonderful Friday morning for our another session on Life by Design. We have been doing this series from past few months, and we have seen people adopting these learnings, making changes in their lives, and a lot of progress and a lot of experiences which people have shared. So, continuing with the theme which we had been discussing for quite some time, we will be talking about new things today in Live by Design session, and we will be focusing on the inputs which you have given through polls in our past sessions. So we will be evolving our learnings through them, and we will have some Q&A today as well. And now I would like to invite our CEO, Sunny, who is so passionate about this and who has been a great coach for all of us and coaching on these important lessons of life. So welcome, Sunny, and over to you.
Thank you, Shruti. So first of all, hope everyone is doing well. Friday morning. Okay, so my background changed today a little bit. When you do something with passion, then nothing can stop you. So I'm in the middle of my very important 2-day my learning sessions as well, and part of overall what we need to do in terms of business networking to grow business. And so I'm in my hotel room today in a different time zone. It's very earlier than EST. And while it was late doing business networking, there was a dinner that finished around 11:30. And it was important to network with people, bring some connections back for Dave and everyone else, so that we can we can grow this year. But I did not want to miss this session. And I'm like, this is something. And while we are talking about health and sleep and everything, but one thing that I have noticed is that when you do something with passion, activity that you choose to do is the energy building activity, then no matter what is going on in your life, you do feel energy. So I am very happy and energetic this morning to share what I have been learning, and our journey is together in terms of learning and growing. So one thing that we always want to start with is positive focus. So question is, to start with, write down 3 things that you feel good about. You can take from last Friday to today perspective, last 30-day perspective. But let's take a minute, 60 seconds. Write down 3 things that you feel good about. If you're done with your first item or second item, move to the next one. Okay. So last week, before we have a conversation, and our HR team, you can play the background music whenever we are going into more like a thinking session or thinking part of the session, I should say. Okay, so what we discussed last week was really how self-awareness can help us live a better life, how resilience and a resilience in terms of all parts of our life by design plans. How can we be resilient when we look at those four pillars: health, family, career, and legacy? And normally, resilience comes from you being grateful, you being optimistic, and then you having grit. Because you do need to start with the reality as well. So, being optimistic. So, first of all, having that gratitude and being optimistic, at the same time, putting discipline behind that optimism is very important, because those three things needs to work together in a balance for real happiness. Because if you just practice any one of those three without practicing three together, just kind of really keep thinking positive is not going to create positivity. It requires action. It starts with thinking positivity, but at the same time, you have to put math and science behind that uh, positive focus, behind that optimistic mindset. And then also knowing, so I think more you are self-aware, more you will get out of your own way. So having these three things, what we discussed last week. Then we did discuss relationships. So the whole idea was out of energies, that energies do come from, your life freedoms, basically. The freedom of is freedom of time, freedom of money. There are five freedoms: your overall well-being, your physical, mental, spiritual health. So five freedoms, and we did get into a little bit more relationships, how relationship can be uh, energy builders or energy disruptors in your life. So that's what we discussed. And then another piece that we discussed was we are the results of our decisions. Decisions that we made in the past, they are showing up in our life today. And decisions that we will make today, they will show up in our future life. And we did talk about future self and writing a letter to our future self that this is who I want to be. This is this is what me looks like in 5 years. And we do have a framework of 25 years as well, which is in the Life by Design plans, that who I want to be by the end of this year, 2023, who I want to be in the next 5 years, who I want to be in the next 10 years, 15, 25. Really, one thing that I'm seeing is that anything that I'm sharing and I'm trying to create a connection, and it kind of really works really perfectly with each other. So I just, what I just said, it just was in the moment thought. And I'm like, yeah, not only 5 years, you can even put your future self thinking into that 25-year framework, because you will continue to change. Your friends don't know you, I mean, you being today, or who you are today and who you were in the past. So friends that are not interacting with you on a regular basis, they have seen you 2 years ago, 5 years ago, or any human being where their experience with you was 5 years ago, and then interaction is not there and they have not interacted with you in the last 5 years, they don't know who you are today because you have changed. And you have changed as a result of your life experience and choices that you have made. And you are different and you will be different in the future. Every year you will be different. Every day you will be different because you are learning from this life university. And life will never stop teaching you, and you will never stop learning because we are lifelong learners at IT by Design. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing a little bit before we get into our topic today. So 3 things. Now, keeping this was my reminder to you what we covered last week. So as a chief reminding officer for you on a weekly basis now, that this is me being a chief reminding officer that we covered our future self last week. And we wanted to go back and write a letter to our future self. Did anyone write a letter to your future self? And what are the 3 things overall that you feel good about? So you can, I just want you to share a thought. I mean, where your head is right now. You can share uh, 3 things that you feel good about, or who you will be in 5 years, your future self. Volunteers. I know it's not easy to share our thinking. Whatever you can share, we don't want you to share confidential stuff, but what can you share with this group?
I'll jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel really, really good. I guess more grateful and for my career here, and just to be surrounded by such an amazing team and people that I'm learning from, and of course my family as well, and my health. I've always thought I was healthy, but with these sessions, it's brought it back to top of mind for me. A lot of the habits that I've wanted to change with eating sugar, so I stopped sugar last week and cheated over the weekend. But yeah, definitely family, career, and my health, and it all kind of ties together. That's mine. Oh, you're looking at my yard.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that is a very positive view back there. Okay,
There we go.
anyone else?
I want
Share
to
your
share
thoughts.
one. Sorry.
Go ahead, Anamika, go ahead.
I have not, I'll be honest, I have not written I have not written a letter to my future self, but I wanted to share what I learned from the last, when towards the end, Sunny, when you actually taught us that, that we do need to face a lot of times, we get scared because of our fears. So I got an understanding that you do need to face your fears, the uncertainty which is happening in life. And there is no magic pill, like you said, that will fix any relationship. I have to work on the relationship and nobody else. This is what I learned.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, Anamika. Okay, so we can move on to our topic for today, which is kind of is a continuation of uh, future self. And do you guys see my screen?
No.
No.
Okay, let me just. Yeah, please go on mute. And the Zoom admin, please keep everyone on mute.
Yeah, Sunny.
Thank you. Okay, so now you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Okay. So the idea that I want to bring to this group today is, if we are the results of our decisions, how can we make better decisions? And because your future is being a matter of you making right choices, right decisions. So I'm going to share something with you which is really, really interesting. And CP, if you're on the call, thank you so much. I woke up this morning and I thought of a tool, and CP is so awesome. I just called him. I'm like, can you create something for me? And he created it in like 15 minutes. And this is my production doing teamwork with CP this morning. So hope you guys like it with my quick start. It will require a little bit more work. Decisions are a matter of guesses and bets. So we will be talking about guesses and bets today. So let's write down our first learning from today. Decisions are a matter of us being a better guesser and better. And so last week, the quote from John C. Maxwell was, life is a matter of choices, and every choice you make makes you, if you remember. So because I will be talking about guesses and bets today, and I'm like, why can't I modify that quote a little bit to make it relevant and relatable to what we will be talking about today? So this is something that I want to share with the group today, is life is a matter of guesses and bets, and every bet you make makes you. Every bet you make will make you your future self. And your future self is being a better guesser and better. And if you still see my screen, I hope you don't see this Zoom a little bit controls at the top. Do you see the
Yeah, we can see
title
we can see the
of
best
this?
guesses and bets.
Okay, so this is what I did this morning. So CP created this tool for me, so thank you, CP. And then I wrote down my guesses and my bets in life. So I reflected on my past, what guesses I have made in my past, and what wisdom I can gain having that reflection. Something that worked, I can rinse and repeat, and something that did not work, I should learn from it and bet better. Using that learning, gaining wisdom from my failures, my stuff that did not work for me. So I want to, so when I was thinking about this, I'm like, I started with when I was in high school. So not high school, elementary school. So my village is close to people that are joining us from India. My village is about 5 kilometers from Nakodar, which is close, like in the district of Jalandhar. Where in the 7th grade, there was, of course, rickshaw from village to the city, taking kids to school, because there was the accessibility to education was limited in villages, and I'm talking about 70s. And so started with, we used to call it buggy. Our buggy used to come at 7 a.m. and then we used to go to school. But then in the 8th or 9th grade, I mean, there was only up to that grade. And then, I had to make a choice. I think it was 10th grade, that my friends, they started traveling in bus. There was a bus that was going from close to our village to the city. And my dad did not let me go on the bus. And he said, you're going to continue to go on bike. And in the 11th and 12th, I took a bike. I had to make it, that was actually not my guess. That was my father's guess. And he bet on bike, not bus. And why it is important was the company that I kept by, and then the health that I kept by biking to the school was a better bet, because friends that were going in buses, and I don't know what happens in India right now, but back in the days, stuff was different, environment was different. My friends used to share like very interesting stories. They traveled in the bus, they met this girl, they started from here, they finished here. So when we used to kind of really play together in the evenings. It was very tempting to go in the bus to school in the 11th grade, that you can hang out with those cool kids. And also, like it was very tempting to go in the bus. But that was not my bet, actually. That was my father's bet. He was so strict and he said, no, you're gonna go I'm not gonna let you go on bus. But now I reflect back and I know why. And that was a better bet. Then after 10th, in the 11th, when my other classmates from my 10th grade, they chose arts. And even for me, English was something very limited because I started learning English in the 6th grade. And it was so scary to choose pre-medical and having that dream to be a doctor. I chose that. That was my choice. My father let me do that. My friends chose arts. I think me choosing, even though I could not, because in 11th grade, then all those textbooks were in English, and I had hard time reading and understanding English. But I took that as a kind of very courageous decision that it's okay, I will figure it out. So choosing pre-med, not arts, was a better bet. Then when I did not get into after 12th to a medical college, there was a donation for 5 lakh rupees at that time. At that time, nowadays, if you look at money relevancy, it's about $25,000. You're talking about 93. And so we had to guess which one we want to bet on. I mean, I wanted to bet on pay 5 lakh donation, which is about $25,000 to get into a medical college by paying money. And then at that time, a lot of people where they wanted to be doctors, they used to go to Russia a lot because there were only 1 or 2 medical colleges in the entire state of Punjab at that time. So it was hard to get in. A lot of kids used to go to Russia or blue collar America. So from village, people used to come and just kind of really come here and do blue collar stuff. So this is where it was very hard for me to guess. And here my learning is that I was very spiritual. So I went to my temple, I wrote down medical college on one slip, another slip I wrote Russia, third slip I wrote blue collar America, which was my least favorite option. And then I went to my temple, I did my prayer, and then I picked up one of the slip, and I'm like, whatever that slip will say is my future self, my future destination. And my least favorite option was there, so I did not then, I did not have any choice at that time, but bet on asking my father that now make my passport ready. I want to go to America. And because I wanted to honor my commitment with my spiritual self. And I think that was that at that time I'm like, God, why this option? I wanted to be a doctor. But then now I reflect back and I'm like, sometimes you don't know everything. And that was a better bet rather than just staying there or going to Russia. Then who I wanted to spend my life with, my bet on Cam, where so that's a story for some other time. What guesses I had to go through to make sure that I'm betting on the right person. And then, I mean, I can go on and on, but just few things that so we were having some challenges in terms of operations in India. I couldn't run everything from here every day. My bet on Steve, where I had choices, and that. So I was just thinking this morning, what guesses and bets made me who I am today. So now there is a tool. So team, if you can share with this team, you can fill this. We're going to take 2 minutes with the music on. I want you to reflect on your past bets, so you
Yes,
can
Sunny.
learn get your guesses and bets. So we all have very unique life journey. You had to guess in your life. Some guesses worked in your favor, and you did end up winning. And some guesses, when you reflect back, and there's a lot of learning, and you don't want to leave that failure behind without learning. Failure is not a failure if you don't leave it without learning. I mean, you got to learn from the failure. So why don't we reflect back? So hope everyone have the form, the tool.
Yeah, it is there on chat, Sunny.
Yeah, so you can save it, guys. If you have a question, please put it in the chat. I will answer while everyone is working on this. So write down 2 to 3 things or more things, whatever you can write in the 60 to 90 seconds. Guesses that you had and bets you made. Reflect and learn. Okay. Thank you. I want to take one or two perspectives. The way I shared my guesses and bets, need one or two volunteers to share their guesses. What thought comes to your mind when you're reflecting on your past?
So Sunny, like the reflection and a query also associated with it. So when I was filling the guesses part, so basically, the first thing which I felt was like choosing when we were like I was switching from 10th. I had completed my 10th boards and the option was to choose from maths or bio, like what you want to choose and move forward with. So that is what, I made a bet on maths. Similarly, when I was going for graduation, I had an option either to go for like BSc or BTech, like engineering. So I went for BSc. So that is what, and because I did not, because the ultimate goal was to have the master in business administration, complete my MBA, and BTech take 4 years, while BSc take 3 years. So that is how I calculated that decision. But my query over here is that for BSc and BTech, like I was very clear why I was moving to BSc and not BTech. So should I count it as a guess, or it is an informed decision which has been made when I'm filling this form?
Yeah, so if I heard you correctly, like what do you want to put on the bet side?
Yeah, what should I put on the bedside? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, whenever we are making a decision, there are normally, we are trying to say, okay, should I do this or should I do this? Those are the type of questions, right? So that comes on the left side. And when you're just kind of really overall looking at, okay, I have to guess X or Y. And then you end up choosing one that goes on the right side.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And if I'm making a database decision also, then also it's a bet. It's not on hunch.
Data-based decision, like past data.
Like the way I said it, that I wanted to go for MBA and I saw that BSc will take 3 years while BTech will take 4 years. So therefore, if I want to move early towards my goal, I would rather choose something which lower number of years, which is 3 years. And that is why I went for BSc.
Yeah.
So that is that kind of data. So that so it will be a bet, not on a
Yeah,
hunch.
that's the bet. Because it's a calculated so you did your calculation and it's calculated guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's calculated guess. So you always, whenever we're choosing, there are certain criterias that are important to us, and we end up making a choice that we want based on either some assumptions or some data, but it's more like a calculated guess that you take.
Okay. Thank you, Sunny.
Yeah. So, okay. So anyway, thank you, Shruti. Actually, because we have a lot more to cover and 20 minutes left, and so the future self. So the second part is the future. So we will skip that. I just wanted to share the tool with you that you can use in your own time. But when you reflect on your past guesses and bets, what you are gaining out of this exercise, this thinking time, is what is my decision-making process? How my mind is working to choose my future options. And better you get at being a calculated person, better you will be. happier you will be. And the greatest bet you will have to make is on people normally. And you will always pay the price. You just have to choose the price. There is nothing free. We pay price, we pay the price for everything that we bet on. So happiness is a matter of price that you pay. Because happiness is not free. Freedom is not free. And yeah, so my thinking is that we always will end up paying the price. So for example, if you want to be happy with your health, you will have to pay the price of getting up, going to the gym. That's the price that you pay. Sometimes you pay with money, sometimes you pay with time, sometimes you pay with your, many different energies. But at the end of the day, you are using some kind of currency to pay for your happiness. Okay, so now we're going to go into our freedoms. So what are the freedoms? Because freedom is not free. You will have to choose your price to get your freedom, but you pay the price. Okay, so let me just share again.
So should we launch the poll, Sunny, the second poll, the freedom one?
Oh yeah, so let's do the first, we can do both together. So first poll team is to understand what support do you need. So there are 4 pillars of life that we talk about. Even this stuff is rolling up to those 4 pillars, because better you get at making guesses and bets, when you learn, your freedom in those 4 areas of your life will expand. So first question that we have for you, so we can align these sessions with your needs. Do you want us to give you more thinking, more content, more tools on health or career or family or legacy? So that's the first poll. Shruti, let's go. Choose one where you need help. Bet on one. In the next 90 days, which one of your life plan need more support?
We have 45 responses until now, 46. Come on, people. Let's reach 94.
Everyone, please choose one. Please, please, please. Practice your betting tool. Bet on one. Okay, we can go to the second poll, poll.
So, Sunny, shall I share the results for the first poll?
Yeah, let's do that. What our community wants. More on health. And if you can please take a screenshot of this, then also put it in the Teams to me. So health, number 1. Number 2 is family. Number 3 Oh, no.
No,
It's career.
Oh, no.
career.
Number one is career. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. It's not. Okay, 43% for career. Okay, so Shruti, you can also take a note because we are co-creating these programs and the content. So if you can take a note and align our future 90 days calendar
Sure.
based on majority of the votes. Okay. Okay, so
Should I launch the second poll, Sunny?
yeah, we can do the second one. Okay, now the second topic that I'm about to cover now is freedoms. So these are the 5 freedoms. Everything that you have at macro level, micro levels, you have other freedoms, but they will always roll up to one of these 5. At least at macro level, I couldn't think of anything else, which is a bigger picture freedom. Choose one life freedom you choose and commit to expand more in the next 90 days. And I'm going to give you a tool after this, how the tool that you will use to expand your freedom. So choose one. And if we can close this in 30 seconds, team, it shouldn't take more than 30 seconds for you to choose one. And please choose. So basically keep the life plans in mind. It will have a correlation with your 4 plans, your health, your family, your career, your legacy. And in each one of those areas, these 5 freedoms do apply. Choose one that you're going to more focus on, and we can share result as well.
Yeah, Sunny.
Well-being and money. Yes, money, money, money. Okay, money. We should have asked money in dollars, US dollar, or rupees, or now Filipinos pesos. Okay. All right. So we're going to choose one, but here is a tool that you're going to use to expand your freedom. Guys, just having these 2 tools, you will be ahead of the rest of the world by at least 10 years. If you take these tools and do something with these tools. These tools will only help those who wants to help themselves. Okay, so next here. So these 5 freedoms. So if you can please share the second tool. How can we, again, this one has correlation that I love, creating connections and threads between different topics so that there is a relevancy that we're not talking about different things every week. Any new thinking that we use, new tool that we use, it will expand on our previous sessions. And energy is what Simi started. And then we got into more energy because energy is a fuel to expand your freedoms, these 5 freedoms. And these 5 freedoms will expand your life experience in those 4 areas of life, and then you're living life intentionally, you're living life by design. But everything requires energy. And if we can really figure out where our energy comes from, and we pick one where that one item can give us more energy in our life, and we use that energy then to create more freedoms. So we're going to start with momentum on the left side. So let's take about 30 to 60 seconds to answer the first question right here on the left. What is boosting your energy in this area? So for example, if you chose relationship or you chose money, what about that choice? What is about that choice that is boosting your energy? So if it's a relationship that you choose how is that relationship? What is in that relationship that is boosting your energy? So that's the question. Take 30 seconds to answer that question. Yeah, you have a tool. You can fill it out in the tool as well, or you can write it down on a piece of paper. Use the tool later, whatever works for you. Okay. So second question that we want to go through is, what is draining your energy in this area? So your choice, what you picked at the top from the energy focus area: time, money, relationships, purpose, health, and well-being. Now you covered what is boosting your energy in this area, and then now write down 2 to 3 things. What is draining your energy in this area? So let's take 30 seconds. Okay. me share now screen. I can't share screen anymore.
Yeah, Sunny, you can share it now.
Okay. So keep the tool open, team. And just in the interest of time, we can go through this quickly. I will go through this and then you can complete it this weekend. Again, Fridays are the best. I think the timing is best because this type of stuff requires thinktation time, your thinking time, thinking chair. When you are really calm, you have time, you're not distracted, you need time to really fill this out. And so take some time this weekend to do this. First thing that you want to do is, for anything that you want to expand, you need energy to expand. So you need to activate your energy. So for example, if you chose relationships and you wrote down what is boosting your energy in this area of relationships, and what is draining your energy in this area of relationships, now you want to write down opportunities that you have. What are you committed to focusing on and expanding going forward? So now this is where you can use the tool that I just shared with you. What are your opportunities, right? So if you write down 3 opportunities here that I'm going to be, for example, these are my guesses in terms of opportunities. Now, you will have to bet on an opportunity that you want to commit to out of options that you have. And once you will choose, once you make a choice of the opportunity that you want to focus on to activate your energy, that requires execution. So now the tool that you will use, the same tool, that tool can be used multiple times. So keep a template and keep using it for many different things that you do in life. And you will, by using that tool, you will have a lot more clarity what you want to bet on in terms of opportunity that you want to commit to. And then the next question that you want to ask yourself to be more motivated towards that commitment, to have that self-awareness and grit to make stuff happen in that area, make that opportunity a reality. Question that you want to ask yourself there is that what is this new commitment? Why is this new commitment so important? What is the ideal outcome that you want? So you need to have clarity on outcome from that commitment. Then you want to be more innovative, out of the box thinker, because you do need to always think different to produce different results. So if your bets in the past did not produce right results for energy in that area, it could be time, money, relationships, purpose, health, well-being, you want to choose different. You want to try something new. So you need to use innovative thinking. And the question that you want to ask yourself, what are the biggest obstacles or uncertainties you would need to transform to move this forward? Because normally people end up doing the same thing. They don't want to deal with uncertainties. They don't want to deal with their own fears. They don't want to take that courage to deal with something that's uncertain. That's what keeps them at the same place in that particular energy area. So you need to make a bigger, better choice. You need to be a better person to bet on opportunities. And you need to have a transformational approach to create your future, which is bigger. Then learning what new capabilities and confidence will be possible by taking advantage of this new opportunity. So once you go through this, then the last section here is insights, decisions, and actions, then you write down 5 actions that you're going to take. So after you think about everything here, then you're going to write down 5 actions that you're going to take and by when. So be smart. I mean, make that action smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, relatable to this energy focus area, and yeah, and time bound. So you want to create a smart goal around it. And what you need is then the 4C formula as well, because you have to be committed. Once you're committed, then you need to have that courage. So the example that I loved, that this is, so the tool is from Strategic Coach. This is from Strategic Coach. Basically, you know, the example, this can, you know, be taken with families as well. That when what you are learning, the way I'm sharing with my work family here, you can share with your home family as well. What I learn, what you learn, we need to share with our loved ones. So this is something like, let's say if I'm talking to Sean, my 13-year-old, like commitment to have my first sleepover at some, you know, his friend's house, you know, and he, you know, that was a scary thought. There was a lot of uncertainty for him because he never did that before. He had to be courageous to say, okay, I'm going to be okay with doing this. So, okay, now I'm worried about waking up in the night and not being able to crawl and with mommy. What if I don't like the food? I'm feeling nervous and anxious. This is a common human emotion whenever we want to do something bigger and better. Is uncertainty that is there, and that requires courage. And once you have that courage to take that action, those 5 actions that we just has confidence that now and those 4 C's, 4 C's are what will create your future. So if your present is here, then when you reflected on your past guesses and bets, you learn and you build that moral and energy from things that work for you, guesses that gives you, you know, that energy, that confidence that, hey, I did it already. All I have to do is use same thinking, same mindset, same, you know, what I did. I just need to rinse and repeat. So once you make that decision and then you bet better based on that wisdom from past, you choose better. That creates more, I mean, bigger and better future for you in terms of these 5 freedoms that we just talked about. So your future self freedoms are a matter of being a better guesser and better. And that's all. And I think we may not have time left for questions because we're 5 minutes over. But I will take a minute or so to take questions. If you do need to leave for your huddle, please go ahead. Okay. Any questions from some new ideas, new tools, new thinking that I shared? Everyone is still trying to evaluate guesses. Okay, Scott, what comes to your mind from today?
Sunny sir, I first of all thank you, for bringing us back to our memories when you were talking about Nakoda and those things. But yes, very, very impactful session, very, very insightful. It was very important that we kind of value all the guesses and the bets. And I think what I learned was that, probably time is the best healer. Time tells you what your best guess or best bet is, and you got to trust the decisions of your elders, respected one, like you did for your fathers as well. So that was good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Scott. Anyone else before I pick one more person? So basically, what I'm looking for right now is, what are your thoughts on the session today? What's your takeaway?
Can I go, Sunny?
Yeah, go ahead, Manmeet.
Sunny, thank you so much. We never thought about this perspective the way you shared today. Bets and guesses. When you were sharing your insights and I was plugging my thoughts, there were so many, instances where, I have also taken a guess, bet my parents. And when I was just plugging and I just count, it just came up as in blessings that all those, bets and guesses came to as a success. So I think that's a very insightful session. None of us, I think, would have thought that way. And I'm going to spend my weekend adding more things in the tool which you have shared. And it'll probably give us more courage, Sunny, to see, how can we take decisions and how can we take our actions basis what you shared today.
Thank you, Gurmeet. Yeah, past is a beautiful thing to learn from.
Yes,
if we take time to learn from our past.
Yeah, and I really loved your thought that you bet on Steve. I remember, that time as well when you had, that era. But I think what you shared was so insightful, and all your bets and guesses came as a success to you.
Yes,
that's a very thoughtful.
Similar thoughts, Sunny, I had as well. As I was listing down my guesses and bets, it ended up being a long list, and I realized that life is a series of bets that you take actually at every instance, right from my childhood, when you start having some sense of where you want to go from then on till now. I think at every step you take a bet, and some have been good, successful, some have not been so successful, and that's what we call experience and learning in life. That not everything works out, but then ultimately you get something out of it, you learn something out of it. So it was very introspective. Thank you for actually sharing it and showing us this perspective.
Yeah, thank you. And you had to take a lot of guesses as well with your American journey as well.
Yes.
I'm sure that moving back to India from America was not an easy guess to make.
Absolutely. And there were many more life-changing bets. And I was actually just, when I was thinking about them, I was thinking, oh my God, what, how many bets and choices have I made? It's just a long series. So I think I'm going to spend some time as well thinking more on that.
Yeah. So again, people, if you have to leave, I understand, but just because we are in that moment, one thing that, take another, this is like a bonus takeaway, is write down intellectual word and write down property. 2 words, put them right next to each other on a piece of paper that you have, and draw a circle or a rectangular box around it. So 2 rectangular boxes, intellectual and then property. Underneath intellectual, write down one more word called brain. And under property, write down, repeat, property. So under intellectual, put brain. Under property, put property. So intellectual property that everyone talks about, there is so much value in having an intellectual property. If you own a home, that is your intellectual property. No one, like if you have a registry under your name, it is under your name. That is your property. Our brain from the past is just have learned like real estate type of properties as our properties. But the world that we live in today, there are a lot more properties that you can own. Marketing world started talking about digital properties. Like you talk to a marketing person, I have, even a video being on a website. Oh, I have this property. I have this property. The biggest property that you have is your brain. And no one can steal that from you, even if they want to. Our parents, at least my parents, they used to encourage me to not just do too much farming work, that put parja, the study. No one is going to, your brother is going to ask you to divide the farmland, and you guys going to fight who needs which side of the farm. But if you go to school, you go to college, there, even if he wants to get any part of that property, he won't be able to take it. Right? So like education. Education is your own property, but what really education means is your brain. And when I look at this, and I'm like, that is how we want to look at things, then the tool that I shared with you is going to make your intellectual property a lot more valuable, because you can use this tool to expand your intellectual property, because the best university is always your past. And if you can start learning in a repeatable way from your past, basically what guesses, and you can do this exercise every month, every year, like what guesses. It's all about continuous transformation in terms of being a better. And the better will come from you having more wisdom, and wisdom will come from you reflecting on your past and learning from your past. So your wisdom today is based on your life experience of the past. And if you do extend your wisdom, extend your thinking by using these two tools that I shared with you, you will be able to create a bigger future. So one more time, repeating what I started with, is that your future is being a better guesser and better. So you being able to guess better, you being able to bet better. And you can only guess and bet if you know where you're going. So define your future self. Do take my tool of life plan, the 25-year framework. Define yourself. No one can define you but yourself. And you should not let anyone define you. So define yourself, because that way you have clarity on who you want to be. And if you know who you want to be, that's the only way for you to write that letter to your future self, because you know who you want to be. If you know yourself 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years from now, then you can use these other tools to support being your future self. Because you will have a lot more chances of being successful at being your future self, because you are a wiser person who's learning from past, using these tools by having journal to reflection point, taking time to reflect, and then bet better on your decisions. You are who you are today because of your past decisions. And you will be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years from now, you will be a product of your decisions today. So with that, you guys take care and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sunny.
Sunny.
Thank you,
Sunny,
everyone.
thank you so much.
Thank you.